It began with a lie, sharp enough to split my world wide open. 12 years of marriage, 2 children, a home nestled beneath the bloom of hydrangeas. She insisted on planting every spring. I thought we were solid. Worn, maybe. A little tired. Sure. But solid. Real. Then came the courtroom. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting everything in sterile clarity. I sat there numb as her voice, so familiar, now trembling, broke the silence. He cheated. I hadn't. Not once. But the truth is a fragile thing when measured against tears and trembling lips. Emotion screams louder, and the judge listened. She walked away with the house, the kids, and the benefit of the doubt. I lost more than a verdict. The scandal that followed cost me my job. No one wants to hire the man whose wife cried betrayal on the witness stand. I became a headline, a whispered warning. For weeks, I lived in my car. Fast food dollar menus became my diet, and truck stop bathrooms my grooming stations. I slept in borrowed apartments I could barely afford, staring at unfamiliar ceilings while silence wrapped around me like a shroud. Grief doesn't scream. It whispers endlessly. Rebuilding wasn't noble. It was automatic. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. I found a job at a warehouse, loading trucks for 12 hours a day. The labor tore at my hands, calloused them until they stopped feeling. That numbness was a blessing. Pain was better than memory, better than hearing my daughter's laugh echo in my mind, or imagining the way my son used to race to the door when I came home. No one called. Not the kids. Not friends. People don't want the complicated truth. They want the neat story, the clear villain. I became that villain. It didn't matter what I said. I wore the mask they gave me. A year passed like that. Then, one afternoon on a break, I bought a lottery ticket. Just a whim. I didn't even look at the numbers until the next day. Checked them on a cracked phone screen with no expectation. $5 million. I didn't feel joy. Just a hollow, dull ache. And right on cue, the envelope arrived. Legal letterhead. My ex-wife was suing for more alimony, citing significant changes in financial circumstance. In court, she smiled like the victory was already hers. I said nothing. But that night, I called a private investigator. Not to fight her, to understand her. Something had always nagged at me, the way she looked at me when she lied. Calm, certain, cold. The PI's office reeked of stale coffee and dust. He handed me a thick folder with my name scribbled across the top. He paused before I opened it, eyeing me carefully. You sure you want this? I opened it anyway. Inside were photos, screenshots, bank records, dates, names, every truth I'd never been allowed to say. She had been seeing someone for 6 months before the divorce papers were ever filed. Her co-worker. I saw the dinner dates, the hotel check-ins, the messages that made my stomach twist. Love notes, sweet and cruel all at once, filled with promises I once believed were mine. She deleted the messages, thought they were gone, but the cloud remembers what the heart tries to forget. There was more. A second bank account, registered quietly under her name. She'd been siphoning money for years, small, almost invisible withdrawals, always just under the alert threshold. Meticulous theft. More than $80,000 gone before I ever noticed. And still, I didn't feel rage. I felt a strange, bracing stillness, the silence just before thunder breaks the sky. Then I heard the voicemail. I'll say he cheated first. No one questions a wife. Her voice, clear, calculated, cold. I played it 5 times. Each time, something inside me shifted. It wasn't peace. Not yet. But it was clarity, like smoke clearing from glass. Back in court, I said nothing at first. Her lawyer waxed poetic about fairness, about long-term partnership, about sacrifice. I just waited. When the judge finally asked if I had anything to add, I stood. I walked calmly to the bench and placed a folder, neat, methodical, damning, into his hands. Then I pressed play. The courtroom fell silent. Not the kind of silence that fills a pause, but the kind that crushes the air, that cracks glass. Her lawyer turned pale first, his eyes darting like a man looking for an escape that wasn't there. She stood, staggered, almost, her voice trembling. That's not what I meant. That was out of context. The judge didn't blink. Context, Mrs. Delaney? I sat back down, folded my hands, and let the evidence speak. Email chains, timestamp hotel bookings, financial transfers, secret accounts. Page after page, the narrative she had so carefully constructed collapsed. The judge looked at me. Why didn't you present this earlier? I met his eyes. Because back then, I just wanted to survive. Now I want to live. They reopened our divorce case. Fraud, perjury, financial misconduct. I watched her unravel, thread by thread, like fabric worn too thin. The tears came then, loud, wild, messy, not regretful, desperate. She reached for me once, right there in court, whispered my name like she still owned it. I didn't move. Custody reversed. Alimony revoked. Restitution ordered. I walked out of that courtroom with my children beside me. My daughter clung to my hand. My son stared at me like he was really seeing me. For the first time, behind us, she collapsed into her chair. They say justice is blind. Maybe it is. But sometimes, when it matters, justice sees. Outside, the sky had opened up. Rain traced lines down my coat. My daughter tilted her face up and asked, "Are we going home now?" I nodded. And for the first time in years, the word home didn't taste like a lie. She never apologized. I don't expect one. Some wounds don't close because they're not meant to. They stay open, reminders of who we were, what we endured, and what we'll never allow again. The lottery money sits untouched, locked away in a trust. My kids are in therapy. So am I. Healing isn't neat. It isn't linear, but it moves forward. Sometimes I see her around town. She doesn't meet my eyes anymore. The fire she started was meant to consume me, but I carry it now. Not as rage, not as vengeance, just a quiet, steady heat. Proof that I walked through hell and kept walking. She once said, "No one questions a wife." Maybe they should, not with bitterness, not with blame, but with truth. Because truth doesn't shout. It doesn't weep. It doesn't beg to be believed. It simply remains still, solid, and unshakable long after the lies have fallen silent.